6 insurance fraud stories that are just plain crazy. Did you know that 3 to 4% of insurance claims are fraudulent? And people can go to unbelievable extents to get the insurance money, like faking their own death or murdering another? In this video, we will tell you 6 such crazy insurance fraud stories involving a jewelry heist, a 72-year-old woman, fake funerals, and more. Insurance frauds. How many times has your phone rung like that and you have had one sincere salesperson pitching an insurance policy to you? Some people who don't believe in the concept of insurance think that it is a game of fear, where you are scared into paying a premium to a company, while the others who buy insurance have benefited from the backup it offers on a rainy day. Not to forget the tax benefits that come with it. While we may all have bought insurance in some form or the other, we all may not have heard of these crazy insurance fraud stories from around the world. People can get absolutely bonkers. A study of global claims fraud showed that 3 to 4% of all claims filed are fraudulent. The Coalition Against Insurance Fraud puts the global cost of insurance fraud at USD 80 billion. Here's the first one. 4 women invented a man and then killed him. Okay, not really. But they did fake a man and then his death. 4 women in California invented a man named Jim Davis. Then they faked his death. After faking his death, they staged a funeral for him. They also paid actors to come and cry at the funeral. Why did they go to such lengths? So they could claim USD 1.2 million as life insurance benefits for the fake Jim Davis. If it wasn't for the FBI and 2 insurance companies who were investigating the claims filed by these women, we would have never known about this massive insurance fraud. Here's a bit from the FBI report. The con artists were so unnerved by this that they had the coffin supposedly holding the remains of Jim Davis unearthed. They filled the casket with a mannequin and cow parts to ensure the proper weight, and then sent it to a crematory. Then they filled phony paperwork stating that he had been cremated and had his ashes scattered over the Pacific Ocean. Jane Crump, 67, Faye Schilling, 61, Barbara Ann Lynn, 64, and Lydia Aileen Pierce, 35, are now serving prison time for their crimes. Now let's take you to the second story. Could a dead man hike? When we talk about insurance frauds, we cannot miss mentioning the Australian millionaire Harry Gordon. Gordon infamously faked his own death in 2000. He left behind an empty boat filled with empty champagne bottles, leading people, including his own family, except his wife, to believe that he had drowned. After his life insurance was claimed by his wife, Gordon quietly began a new life in a different country. And he did not stop there. He met another woman in this new country, told her that he was in a witness protection program, and got married to her. And that was his biggest mistake. One day, when Gordon was hiking a mountain in New Zealand, he ran into his brother, who thought that Gordon had been long dead. They got chatting, and Gordon told his brother about his second wife. Gordon's first wife had no idea that he had remarried and was, as you would have expected, extremely pissed. Now Gordon had a pissed family and nowhere to turn to. He was arrested by the authorities later for defrauding his insurance company of USD 3.5 million. Gordon went on to write a book about his story, which was very aptly titled, How I Faked My Own Death and Did Not Get Away With It. While you look for that book online with the curious story of Harry Gordon, we'll take you to story number 3, about a woman who mastered herself at slipping and falling. Yeah, you heard that right. Slipping and falling. We're talking about Isabel Parker, a 72-year-old lady who slipped and fell on purpose 49 times to claim insurance. She planned 49 slip and fall frauds at department stores, supermarkets, and liquor stores between 1993 and 2000, when she ran out of money to sustain her gambling addiction. According to a joint complaint filed by Philadelphia and Delaware state prosecutors, an investigation by detectives from the Philadelphia District Attorney's Insurance Fraud Unit revealed Parker used as many as 47 aliases and 11 different addresses to file her claims, which totaled more than USD 500,000. In 2003, she was found guilty on 20 charges of insurance fraud, and she was sentenced to 4 years of home arrest. If falling 49 times for money does not surprise you, the fourth story most definitely will. It is about two jewelers in New York staging a jewelry heist in their own shop to claim insurance money. How crazy is that? Let's tell you a little bit more about these two brothers from New York. Otherwise decent citizens, soft-spoken to their customers and helpful, two jewelry store owners in New York came up with a scheme to stage a jewelry robbery from their own store in December 2008. They owned two stores, Real Creations, a jewelry wholesaler, and Downright, which sold loose diamonds. Both the businesses were not doing well and they were bankrupt, so they came up with an idea that does not strike many. Atul Shah and Mahavir Kankaria employed two individuals, dressed them as Hasidic Jews, gave them two fake black toy guns, and said that their store had been broken into. They then submitted a USD 7 million claim with their insurer, Lloyd's of London, after pouring drain cleaner into the surveillance cameras to remove evidence. They paid two random people to rob them, but that's where it went wrong. The men were caught because they did a mistake while planning their so-called heist. They were seen taking the jewels out of their own safe 2 hours prior to the break-in, according to footage that authorities were able to extract from the tapes. This made the authorities suspicious, and they started investigating the two, and that opened a huge can of worms. They were sentenced to 1 2/3 to 5 years of prison in 2011. Next up, story number 5 is about the story of a man and his pan. While most of us love our homes and our cards, this man did not, and went to the extent of burning it down for insurance money. Nicholas D. Puma from Delaware did something that shocked everyone who was a part of that investigation, and followed his actions up with a ridiculous story. What was he thinking? He told the authorities that he used handkerchief to put out a pan of fire, according to police reports. He took the pan and threw it out of his front door once the handkerchief started to burn. He then said that the pan landed on his convertible's rear seat. Somehow the window was open. He went to say that he tripped over a box while attempting to retrieve a second pan that had purportedly also caught fire, and the pan fell and ignited a leather couch. T. Puma then claimed he attempted to put out the fire in the convertible rather than his home after running outside to retrieve 2 hoses, but finding only one. As you may have guessed, this story was hard to believe for most people. It was not that difficult to catch T. Puma in his lie and prevent an insurance fraud. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison and ordered to pay USD 37,997 in restitution. Now on to the final story for this video. The last one is very difficult to believe. Back in 1933, a man named Michael Malloy wandered the streets of New York. He was homeless and an alcoholic. One day, after he upset the owner of his most frequented speakeasy, the owner and 4 others decided to hatch a plan that can get them rid of Malloy's nuisance and make them some money. They intended to convince Malloy to buy a life insurance policy, then have him drink himself to death so they could divide the proceeds. However, they understood they would need to alter their strategy when he did not pass away from alcohol poisoning. Malloy was a tough lad. The 5 used rat poison, antifreeze, turpentine, rotten food, and other poisons to kill him. But he just kept waking up. They threw him in the snow after dragging him outside in the freezing cold and pouring ice water on his exposed chest one night after waiting for him to drop out at the bar. They believed he would surely freeze to death. But guess what? Malloy survived that too and walked into the bar the following day believing he had merely overindulged the previous evening and passed out in the park. The 5 conspirators, who the New York media called the Murder Trust, did end up poisoning Malloy with carbon monoxide at some point. They were sentenced to death for their crime. That's all for now. We hope you enjoyed watching this video. Why don't you subscribe to our channel to get interesting doses of entertainment and edutainment? Like, share, subscribe now. Bye, until next time.